Welcome back to another episode of Shortcuts to Mastery, and a very special one at that because this is actually my first ever video episode. So if you're listening to me in your podcast home of choice, you can also hop over to YouTube and check me out right now on video, which will be a lot of fun to hang out as well. So by the title, of course, you probably maybe now have some idea of where I've been. But in case you don't know, if you haven't been following me for a while, you might not have noticed, but I haven't really been around for the past couple of months. The last time I posted on Instagram was in June, and it is now September. And that is a first for me. I have been a very consistent poster for a very long time. I have been in this business now for 4 months and 9 years and have literally never taken more than maybe like a week or two off here and there, depending on posting. But this has been a special period of my life, a special time, and I want to give you an update on where I've been. Yeah, we can hang out and chat. I have my little tea, I have my little water. I will admit this is the second time I'm recording this because the first time it just stopped recording. The video stopped recording, so I was just talking to myself for like 20 minutes, but we got audio but no video. But that's okay. We're here now. We're figuring it out, trying a new thing. YouTube is one of the exciting places that I want to get into in the next stage of my business, and it takes time and repetition and practice. So here we are practicing on YouTube together, and happy to be here. So let's talk about where I've been. Yeah, so by the title, you might have guessed that I have been in a deep period of burnout for the last 3 months, or at least like not necessarily that's when the burnout started. It's actually when I accepted that I was in a state of burnout and started to do something about it, aka which is do nothing, right? And take time off and rest. I mean, I have done some things to deal with the burnout, but yeah, around the second Capricorn full moon, a series of events that led me to realize that I was in a deep state of burnout and had me decide that I really needed to sort of radically take care of that and take a lot of time off. And that's what I've been doing. And now here I am telling you about it, and where we're going to be next. We also have some questions from some of you over on Instagram that I asked. I put up a question box a few days ago, so we're going to go through some of those as well. And yeah, let's just talk about it. So I want to first talk about like what led me to be so burnt out. During the burnout, I realized that I basically have been like living to work. I have been I watched this YouTube video recently, speaking of YouTube, because I've been just looking into things around burnout, X, Y, and Z. And this person said something I really appreciated, which is when you don't know what you're optimizing for, you end up just optimizing for money because it's a trackable metric that is tangible and easy to sort of, focus on. And then what I kind of took from it is like everything else in your life kind of arranges to like optimize for that. And I thought I had gotten into this business to have like freedom of time and be able to do my things here and there and travel and just have honestly better work-life balance, you could say, in the sense of like that I can do what I want to do, which to me feels like balance or felt like balance at the time. In reality, it turned into this like meme that I see on the internet, which is I quit working for someone 9 to 5 so I could work for myself 24/7. And that's definitely what happened. I mean, the first year and a half of my business, like literally for those 18 months, I worked 7 days a week. No days off, just 7 days a week. 24/7. And it wasn't just like 7 days a week. It was like every free moment, aka all of my moments, because all I was doing was this business full time, was spent on business from like 9 until midnight, 7 days a week. Let me go for a walk, but then as soon as I'm back, like I'm working, I'm like eating my food at my desk. That's all I'm doing. Like, oh, I'm still awake and it's 11. Let's do more work. It's just like constant workflow, or working essentially. Yeah. Again, I think I was like just kind of subconsciously just optimizing for like as much money as possible. So then if you optimize for just as much money as possible, then like everything else in your life just sort of is like, well, screw, working out or screw time with friends. Like if this is our goal and we're not like balancing it out in terms of what it is that we want to be actually like living for, then everything else just crumbles in service of this one goal. And unfortunately, I guess that's kind of what happened. I mean, not to say that I haven't like lived and had an amazing talking is hard, by the way, when you're dealing from burnout. So you might hear me stumble over my words a little bit in this episode, but it's not to say that I haven't had an amazing past couple of years and done some amazing things. And after the year and a half, I definitely started to take more breaks and like take a little bit of time off here and there. But like when I was working, it was just so intense on the work stuff. It was just so just putting on way too many things on my plate, solopreneuring it. Gosh, like I feel like it's just like a bunch of cliches just coming out right now, but it's true. It's like when you've had the experience of overworking yourself, then all the cliches around overworking yourself start to make sense. You know what I mean? So I look back at my past like couple of years and I hear my own voice like echoing in my head of like telling people like, hey, I can't right now, I'm working. I can't, I'm working. I can't, I'm working. Just hearing that sort of like bounce around my head, just all the times where I just prioritize work over other things. And so that was like fine, I guess. I mean, I felt like it was okay. But then a bunch of really challenging stuff fell onto my plate this year. This has been the most difficult year that I've had in terms of just dealing with like relentless challenges that don't end, and the deeper you go into them, the more complicated and difficult and stressful they get, and it doesn't end, and it just keeps going, and it just keeps getting worse, and you're just all by yourself. And imagine one challenge like that and how difficult that would be, and then multiply it by 5, because it's been a lot of really difficult things that are related to the business, things that are related totally personally. I'll give you like a very small example, but I had like a very unfortunate series of events that led me to have my car not working for 2 months, and like, dealing with people that like damaged my car when they were towing it, then lost the key, then, got it super dirty. Then it's like, then when it finally gets fixed in the shop, the freaking hurricane comes in Houston, and like, then I don't have my car for another like 10 days. Like, just imagine that, which was a very small scale of like 2 months of just like car nonsense, and then up the stakes way higher and stretch it out over much more time. And that's what my year has been this year. Really difficult. And some of those things have, one of those things has completed, but the rest have not. And they just, I guess 2 if you had the car thing, but there's still like another big handful of really challenging things that I, as you can tell, cannot really talk about. And I'm not going to until really they're completed. And there's, they've kind of like with the car, it's like, it's over now. I have my car again. It's all good. I was just thinking, I'm so sad I like accidentally scratched it recently, and it's like, no, I had it like perfect already, but anyway, it's fine. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about those things until they're completely done and I've processed them and processed the lessons of them, and some of them I'll never be able to talk about because I just can't talk about them. So yeah, so just imagine that. And to give you some context, the people who are close to me that do know about these situations and know that they've all been happening at the same time for a really long time have all said, if that was me, if that was happening to me, if I had 2 of those things happening to me, I would be crumbling. So that's like the extent, that's like the level of intensity of like all of this stuff happening at the same time. So layer that on top of, over 4 years of just like consistent overworking. It's been a lot. Okay, we have a dog because I think it's raining and she's very stressed out. So she's gonna hang out here unless she starts to make a lot of noise, and then we'll put her somewhere else. No, you cannot lick my arm because it's gonna make a lot of really disgusting noise on the mic. She's gonna find something else to lick. All right, she's gonna go on the bed now. Okay, so where were we? It's been a lot. It's been uncool. It's been not chill. In terms of all the things that have been happening, and I've been supported for sure and so much of it, and it's still like it's all on me, just stuff that I need to deal with like by myself. Like it's not all on anyone else, it's just on me. So it's been a lot. So that, coupled with all of those years of consistent overworking, just led me to a bit of a breaking point. I think not a breaking point, that was actually just kind of like the knee-jerk expression that wanted to come out, but led me to like a point of no return of like, I was on a fence there for a bit, like keep going or stop. And what led me to the stop, aka take the time off and like rest and recover and replenish, were a few things. Number one, there was a double Capricorn full moon this year. So there was a blue moon. Blue moon is when the full moon is in the same sign twice in a year. So we had that this year with the Capricorn full moon during Cancer season, which is about the last time that I posted. And right around that time, so June, I also was doing a nervous system healing program. And I think that the combination of those two led me into the realization that I was in a state of deep burnout and I really needed to take time off. So here's what I think happened. I think doing the nervous system program was so regulating, in fact, so healing, so nice, that I think it kicked me into the state of burnout, in the sense that my body was able to relax enough to realize that this was how I was operating, essentially in like pure fight or flight, adrenaline fueled, root center pressure fueled drive, gate 54, going nonstop kind of energy. I think I was able to down regulate that enough that my body was like, please let me rest. And then that coupled with the Capricorn full moon, it was during the second full moon that I was like, oh, I'm burnt out. That's when I had the clarity. It was like, I think the nervous system healing was like very subtle and like let me sort of go deeper into a state of rest and down regulate my system enough that it kind of was not able to keep going, right? Because I had essentially dampened or removed a lot of that normally adrenaline fueled drive. And then during the second Capricorn full moon, I was able to get the mental clarity that that's what was happening. So when was the second Capricorn full moon? Let's just like look that up really quickly because I would love to know. Yeah, July 21st was the second Capricorn full moon. So it was like during that weekend and like leading up to it that I was like, I had the mental clarity that I was in a deep state of burnout. So that leads us to our questions over here that I have over on my iPad. The questions that you guys had asked me on Instagram. In case you don't follow me over there, you can totally go follow me over there. And then whenever I do future upcoming Q&As on other topics and not just like where I've been, we can do some fun Q&As over there. But the first question I'm going to answer is the question, where have you been? So you now have a bit of an understanding of where I've been. I've been, healing this burnout. I've been off, right? I've been offline. I've been doing my own thing for a bit and like, not working and healing this burnout. But where I physically was when I realized this was on the start of a 3-week trip. So I had booked a 3-week trip to go see some shows in different places. And the first part of that trip was in the Hamptons. So I went to the Hamptons with some friends of mine. It was like a group of 18 of us or something like that. We were celebrating one of our friends' 30th birthday. I'm kind of like adjacent to the friend group. It's like my best friend's friend group, but because we've all traveled for so many years together and gotten together for different things, I just like show up to all the things that we're all doing. And it was so much fun to celebrate birthdays together. And it was cool. We went to the Hamptons and we even saw some people filming reality TV, Summer House. We ran into them twice, actually. We saw them at the beach and then later at the same bar that we went to. So that was kind of interesting. And then what was crazy about that is that when we had gone that Friday morning, so I guess that was the 18th maybe or the 19th, that was the day where that crazy tech crash happened. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but like all of like the airlines went down and there were even like businesses that were down because there was this like huge like tech crash. And so that was like, I was fine in the sense that like I had already arrived to New York, so I was feeling good about that. But then I was stressed because on Monday I actually had a flight to Germany. So that was the second part of my trip to see some shows, to see Coldplay and Taylor Swift. And that was really amazing. And then after I was there for 9 days in Germany, after that I was going to go back to, I went to Brooklyn and so back to New York for like 8 days or something like that, to see Jerro and to see Green Day. And I'm actually going to drive to Dallas to see Green Day tomorrow. So really, really cool. And that was, I guess, a month ago. Yeah, I thought that I time is really weird. And I'm realizing that I've really only been like healing this burnout thing, not even quite for 2 months. In my mind, it was like 3 months. But no, if I'm seeing that the Capricorn full moon was July 21st, it's not even, it's September 10th today. Yeah, September 10th. It hasn't even been 2 months. And for 3 of those weeks, I was traveling. I was like going to New York, going to Germany, back to New York, like to Brooklyn. And then like 10 days after that, I went to Salt Lake City for a weekend. So for Kinsey's birthday, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, now I'm like shocked because I didn't realize this the first time I was recording this. I didn't realize those timelines because I hadn't looked up the Capricorn full moon dates. I thought it was in June. I'm blown away. When I realized that I was burnt out, I just let myself like rest for the rest of that 3-week trip. I sat down and I emailed all of my students because I had 3 programs running right now, or was supposed to have 3 programs running right now. The Master Key, which is my Gene Keys reader training program. Then I was going to have my podcast launch and creation program running right now, which is actually kind of fun because this upcoming week will be the 1-year anniversary of my podcast, which is pretty cool. And then my Canva like graphic design and branding program. So I sent everybody an email letting them know what was going on. And I gave myself until 2025 because I felt like I really needed the rest of this year to like heal and take time off. That's like 5 months, like from July, to not even, because like I was in Brooklyn the first week of August. So I guess that's 5 months, like August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, that's 5 months. But like now we're the first like 10 days of September. And here I am thinking that I need to like move faster. And it's only been like a month. 1 out of the 5 months that I was like giving myself to rest. So now I'm like really shook. Maybe I really should take even more time off, because like I'm not back at my full work capacity yet, but I'm feeling the itch to kind of get back into things. And I wanted to update you guys on what's going on and also give you a little gift at the end. But yeah, now I'm like, wait, I need to give myself a little bit more grace, because it hasn't really been that much time since I've let myself rest. And again, for so much of that time I was like traveling and stuff like that. So that's crazy. Okay. Anyway, well, besides that, I was traveling, basically. That's where I've been. To go back to this question, that's where I've been. I was in the Hamptons for a weekend. Then I went to Germany. I went to Dusseldorf on July 23rd to see Coldplay. It was amazing. Yeah. And it was really healing and triggering in a lot of different ways, because Germany, in case you don't know my lore, I lived in Germany for a time period because I was dating a German guy for a long time. And that was like a very serious relationship, the person I thought I was going to marry and be with forever. And that was my first time back in Germany since we broke up. So 2021. So it had been like 3 years since I had been back. So it was like really kind of like, it was very sweet and also really triggering to be back. But yeah, so wow. Okay. I'm still shook that it hasn't really been that much time. But anyway, so that's where I was. Went to see Coldplay on the 23rd. Coldplay is my sad girl music. And I basically spent the first hour of that show just like bawling, crying, like not okay. Like I was at the front row of the second banister, so not like quite like next to Chris Martin and everyone else, but like one section back. And so there were some security guards like in front of us in the banister, and like one of them literally, she had to come up to me and be like, "Are you okay?" and like give me a hug, and like while I was like violently shaking and sobbing, and I was like, "Bro, I'm not good, but I will be." And it was wonderful to cry, and like it was so cathartic to cry to Coldplay live in Germany. It was like everything I needed, because, you know, it's like by that point I had realized I was in a state of burnout, because I realized that during the Hamptons trip, and it kind of dawned on me how difficult this year has been. And then also being in Germany and like kind of getting triggered again with all of the relationship stuff and the heartbreak that was for me was just a lot. And so I just really needed that emotional release from that Coldplay concert. It was wonderful for like in between the openers. So there was 2 openers for Coldplay. The second one was freaking Janelle Monáe, which was crazy. And when she killed it, and it was amazing. And then when she stopped, there was like a 30 minutes or whatever when they're getting ready for Coldplay to come on, and they were just kind of playing like Coldplay-esque like background music. And like the whole time that we were building up for them to come on, like my tears were like welling in my eyes, my lip was like quivering, like I could feel the huge wave of emotion that was going to happen. And yeah, I mean, I like ugly cried. Like I really wish I had taken a picture of myself or like videoed it, because it was like really cathartic and pretty uncontrollable, and it would be funny to look at now, and also sweet. Obviously I have compassion for my past self, and it was really nice to cry. But yeah, it was pretty wild. And then the next day I was rudely awoken by my Airbnb host husband walking into my room at 8 a.m, scared the absolute living out of me. Okay, I woke up as he was walking in, because I was dreaming that someone was walking in my room. I woke up as I was sitting upright, screaming and putting my hand out. Like, that's how I woke up. So like, slay, fight, response, let's go. Super traumatizing wake up though. Do not recommend. 0 out of 10. Horrible. And then I didn't have any transportation booked to Munich. So I just took a taxi to the airport, because I was staying like 5 minutes away. I was like, there'll be probably like a cheap flight. There was not. So then I was like, okay, no problem. I'll take the train. So I took the Deutsche Bahn train from Dusseldorf all the way to Munich. It was like 7 or 8 hours. It was kind of long. It was really nice. I had my own little seat with my little table, and I got to work and charge my stuff and like look at the countryside and look at the sunset. It was really nice, and like, again, kind of cathartic to be there after this like relationship. So that was really nice. Yeah. And then I was in Munich for like 8 days, and that was awesome. I had a few free days, and then for the rest of the trip, my best friend Katie Irvin joined me, who many of you know, and she's actually the previous podcast episode. It's an interview episode, and also on YouTube, because we did a video interview for you guys. So Katie had been in Spain for some time, and so she flew. We had planned this trip for us to meet up in Germany to see Taylor Swift tour, the Eras tour rather. It was freaking awesome. It was really, really cool. I went twice. We went once together to have a seat, because Katie has no interest in the floor experience. Meanwhile, I am like a front row or bust individual for shows. Like, I need to be like really, if I can't like smell their sweat and have like the possibility of it landing on me, I don't want to be there. I want to be like as front row as possible. So I got to do that the next day. It was great. I camped out from like 9 a.m. basically until the end of that day. Katie came to bring me like some sausages and take all my shit away. It was awesome. It was was really, really nice. And then the rest of our time, like I said, this is when I realized that I was in a deep state of burnout. The rest of my time in Germany, we like went to parks, we went to the sauna. I laid in the river one day when she had already left. We spent a ton of time on bird scooters, just scootering around and like going to the parks. And it was also one of the realizations of like, yeah, dude, you have been like super burnt out. Cause I remember just seeing the people in Germany, people in Munich, just like at the park in the middle of the day, like with their friends, with their families, just resting and like laying in the grass or laying in the river and like drinking in the beer garden. I was like, wow, I really have not been prioritizing like work-life balance. I've just been optimizing for growth, you know, only growth at the cost of everything else, you know, at the cost of my health, at the cost of my sleep, at the cost of my workouts, at the cost of my friendships. Like I had just been so focused on work, like as much growth as possible that it became really unsustainable. Yeah. And just being in Germany made me realize like, wow, there's another way to live. Like I truly, my what I remember during that time is I just kept thinking like, I don't just want to just work. Life is not just about this. Like, why have I been, you know, pretending like it's like this? So yeah, so that was Germany. That's where I was there. And then I went to Brooklyn for around like 8 days. I saw Jerro, which is one of my favorite DJs, and Green Day, like I said, and was with some friends there. And then I also was dog sitting some dogs that were really cute. Here's a picture. By the way, if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm showing pictures right now of some of these trips. So go definitely check out the YouTube video on this. But yeah, so that was my New York trip. And in New York, I think, like I said already, now I can't remember, but that's when I emailed all my students that I was going to take 5 months off. Yeah, I think I said that. Okay. Anyway, then I came back to Houston and I was a little bit sick by the end of that trip. So I spent a week just like on my couch, just like totally in a state of rest, like just watching YouTube videos, but like of creators. I'll link the two that I was watching all the time. Just two girls who are super creative and are just doing like craft projects or design projects or art projects or whatever. And I was like, life is so much more than just like freaking business. You know what I mean? Like there's so many other things I could be doing. Like I could be, this is what I told my students in Readings on Repeat. Also in Brooklyn, I had a Readings on Repeat call. If you don't know, I do monthly calls for that program, but they're actually now going to end at the end of the year. There's actually now only 2 more calls. There's only the October call and the November call. So the monthly calls will be taken away. We'll be retiring from Readings on Repeat, but I gave them a call, or we hosted a call. Jesus, it's really hard to talk, like I said, when you're burnt out. So anyway, I hosted a call and I talked about my plan for my burnout. And my plan was to do like physical rest and replenishment. So a lot of sleep, a lot of horizontal time, but also a lot of exercise, because I had really been slacking on my movement practice. I actually have been so on it for the last like 2+ weeks. I've been loving my workout schedule. I've been going to yoga and SoulCycle, and like my body's feeling really, really good in that sense. So that's been really nice. And then my other part of my burnout healing was creative rest and replenishment. So creative rest meaning stop creating in a forced way what I had been creating in my business up until that point. So like feeling like I have to put Instagram posts out, or I have to like put this out or whatever, and actually just take the time off, but then also replenish my creativity in other ways. So for the past like, you know, I guess just barely a month that I've been in Houston. I'm shocked. I thought I'd been here for much longer. Again, I'm like, okay, you really need to give yourself some grace, dude. But I've been doing a lot of like crafts and making like friendship bracelets and drawing and doing like little like projects around the house, because that was my other interest, is how could I contribute to my household. So I fixed up some things here and there. My mom and I have tackled like a book decluttering and reorganization project for like a huge bookcase that she has that is like crammed full of books. And yeah, it's been nice to like contribute as well to the family. So that's been part of my burnout like protocol for myself, is like physical rest and replenishment, creative rest and replenishment, and then contribution to the family here and there. So that's where I've been. That's been what I've been up to. And now I was about to put a bunch of pressure on myself to start working again. And now I'm like, bro, it literally has not been, it's been barely a month. So I'm going to give myself some grace and not go so crazy on trying to work. But with that being said, let me answer some of the other questions that came in here, because there were some other good questions. So we had, my friend Mara asked, how were your travels? Where did you go? So we answered that question. Went to the Hamptons. I went to Dusseldorf and Munich, and then I went to Brooklyn, and then I also went to Salt Lake City for Kinsey's birthday, which was a lot of fun. And they were great. They were super nice. They were really replenishing. They were super restful. I got to reconnect with good friends, old friends. It was really, really nice to like be with people, and that's been really, really nice. Victoria asks, what have you been focused on lately? And what I've been focused on lately in particular has been workouts. Honestly, like that's been like my main kind of like focus and interest, is like how can I be going to as much yoga as possible? Not in like an aggressive way, just like a couple classes a week, right? And Soul Cycle and like feeling good. Just like how can I let things be easy for myself in terms of dealing with this burnout? And here I am again catching myself realizing that I'm still putting pressure on myself. So yeah, that's been my main focus, as well as handling all that crazy stuff that I can't tell you about. That's been a lot of the other focus. It's taken up so much of my time. It's been taking up so much of my time and it's been so stressful. Oh my God. So I can't wait to like talk about it one day. That's going to be really nice. Two of the things I can definitely talk about one day. That'll be a thing. I'm sorry for being vague. It's just like I'm just not a person that talks about like really big high stakes stuff like while it's happening. So yeah, so that's been that. I got some messages like, miss you, happy to see you. My cousin writes, I was super worried because I hadn't seen it in his stories. So sweet. Love you. And so Eden asks, how was your hermit season? What did you do in your rest phase? What's lighting you up today? So yeah, it was a nice hermit season. I mean, I'm probably still going to be hermiting a little bit more, but it's been really nice. It's been really nice to not pressure myself to create content and to show up and like show my face. Like I've still been consuming it, and maybe I should also just like delete the apps off of my phone for like a week. It's probably a good idea. But it's been really nice to just like live, and not feel like I have to create content out of it. Yeah, I could just like enjoy it. I guess that's like, again, so cliche if you're like a content creator, but like it's true. Like it's been really nice to just like live my life and not feel like I gotta like post a story about this now and then like somehow find a way to like connected to an offer that I'm selling. It's just been nice to just like let go of all of that. And the other part that I've been focusing on to answer Victoria's question and sort of like part of this like hermit season is the realization of how unsustainable my business is. And so I've been doing a lot of work on how to make it more sustainable in the future. And so new stuff will be coming, including things like YouTube videos, which will be really nice. What did I do in my rest phase? Like I said, lots of laying in the grass, walking the dog, who is somewhere back here. Yeah, lots of shows and lots of watching YouTube videos that are inspiring, crafts, lots of yoga, lots of Soul Cycle, lots of friend time, lots of friend hangs and eating good food. It's been really nice. Yeah. And what is lighting me up today? I don't know. I think what's lighting me up today is the first thing that comes to mind is the new business plan. So stupid. I'm like trying to remember to heal burnout, but it's exciting because, and this in particular is really lighting me up to think that I'm like going to be doing stuff on YouTube and creating another source of content and also income. If the YouTube thing goes well and they get to be monetized, like that would be really exciting and is definitely the plan. So yeah, like this is really lighting me up. I feel like I've been wanting to do this for a really long time, and although I am nervous about editing this because I've never done it before, I'm excited that I'm finally here doing it. I'm excited that I'm finally here recording this. It's really lighting me up to be seeing my mic and everything kind of working. Like I'm just excited about it. I think it's gonna be really cool. So that's what's lighting me up right now. So thank you for the question. I like Nora's question. What kind of butterfly are you right now? Bro, I'm like a newly born butterfly in the sense that like their wings are still like shriveled up and they're like waiting for the sun to like dry their wings so they can like fully extend them and they can like fully harden their wings. I'm a shriveled up butterfly that has just been born, or maybe I'm like just before that. I actually might still be, no, I think I'm in the pupa stage, which is the pure liquid stage. I don't know if you guys know this, but when caterpillars do their insane transformation to become butterflies, which is like, we don't talk about that enough. I think we talk about it a lot in like a really cliche way, like transformation, but like that's crazy. Like a freaking worm-looking creature, a caterpillar, all of a sudden just gets under a leaf or whatever, forms a shell, fully melts. Again, I don't know if you guys know that, but like caterpillars fully melt and like liquefy inside of the pupa, and then it forms a whole new creature. Like that's nuts. I think I might be in the liquid phase. I think I might still be in the liquid pupa molten, like just cell soup. I think I'm a cell soup phase. And then soon I'll be like a shriveled up wing butterfly ready to just waiting patiently for the wings to harden. But I love that question. Sarah says, come back to Houston. I'm in Houston, girl. Let's hang out. Let's get some coffee. and two totally like separate questions. So Amanda asks, what Gene Keys topic are you currently obsessed with? None. I'm not obsessed with any Gene Keys topic right now. I'm not looking at anything like Gene Keys, astrology, human design related. Actually, okay, I've been waiting to make a post about this. We're going to do it now. The only thing the Gene Keys that is coming to mind is the fact that 360 and 365 are the keys of boundlessness and timelessness. There we go. 360 is about space. That's boundlessness. That's Gene Key 35. And then 365 is about time, right? 360 an area, right? 360 degrees, 365 time, 365 days. That's timelessness, which is Gene Key 5. That's hilarious to me. And I was talking about this morning with my friends. I was like, I think you and me, just me and my friends Nikki and Neha, us three might be the only people in the Venn diagram of like Brat and Gene Keys, but maybe not. Prove me wrong. If you love Gene Keys and you love Brat, then maybe you fall under this Venn diagram like us as well. So that's my only Gene Keys topic that I've been obsessed with. I have not been thinking at all about it, except for getting back to recording modules for my students, which I'm hoping I can get into soon. And then the last question, any key advice you'd give an entrepreneur who is a reflector? This is so hard to answer right now because I'm just not really thinking about this stuff right now. But the advice I'd give you is you can do anything that you want. Any type can do anything that they want. It's just the way in which you do it needs to be a way that's aligned for your energy and your aura. So as a reflector, the first thing I say is follow other reflector entrepreneurs. So great example, my friend and client Blue Cameron, who is an astrologer. The Balanced Blonde is a reflector. Lauren Bostick is a reflector. Yeah, follow other reflectors in your niche and just to have some expanders around how other people with your aura type are doing their thing. It's particularly reflectors who are so rare and so unique and different from the rest of us. And so the way in which you're going to approach your business is going to be unique and different from the rest of us. So it's helpful to follow other reflectors. And it's not to say that other business advice doesn't apply to you, because that's not necessarily true, but you get to run it through your aura and your knowing, and you can do anything you want. So I think that would be like my main kind of like advice for you. I feel like a lot of like, especially like non-sacral types get this conditioning of like, you can't do it because you're not going to have the energy or whatever. And it's just like, it's just nonsense. You can do whatever you want. It just matters how you do it. That is the important piece of it. So those are my thoughts on that. I think those are all the questions. I just want to see if there's anything else in there. Just a lot of nice messages from everyone. Natural Magics writes, I was literally on your page this morning, like, where's she at? Girl, I have been healing from burnout. So that is it. That is my update for you. Thanks for waiting around for me and being patient on creating content. I think I won't be creating content consistently anytime soon, especially now realizing that I really haven't been resting for that much time anyway. My God. And I need a little bit more time. I need a little bit more time to rest and get back into things. And I need to take care of my students first and foremost before I start creating them free stuff on the internet. But yeah, this has been where I've been at. It's been a really interesting journey. I now have a life experience that a lot of people have had, and so I can now understand it. And everyone's burnout is obviously going to look different, but I get it now. Like I get, like, you know, I've had my own version of it now and what it feels like. So yeah, it's been really interesting. So what else to say? I'm just grateful. I'm happy to be here. I love this question from Eden because I'm now really clear what's really lighting me up is doing this and filming this and recording this. It's feeling really good. So that's cool and exciting and replenishing sacrally, which is really fun, creating in a new way and not being stuck in the old sort of habit of the way I've been creating. Like, if I have to make another Instagram graphic anytime soon, I'm gonna grow up. I'm not gonna lie. I really have no interest in creating in the ways that I have been. They feel stale and not exciting. So time to do something new, as this Manny Jen always does. So I'm super excited to be getting into YouTube and creating a little bit differently on the internet, but first and foremost, taking care of students as well. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. And with all that being said, you're always welcome to DM me. Like, I'm still, like I said, I might now delete the apps maybe for a little bit to really take some time off, maybe like a week or two, but I'm still around. I'm still connecting with people. And for the next month, I'll actually be running, I was gonna say a little sale. It's actually kind of a big sale on all of my products in honor of me coming in briefly to talk about my burnout. It's called the Burnout Sale, and you're gonna find all the information over on my link tree. So tr.ee/Maria Henning. Just click on the link below in the description box or the show notes, wherever you're watching this, and you'll be able to find all the different offers that are being offered at a discount and which code you need to use for them. So for my masterclasses, my 2 masterclasses, the systems masterclass, which is all about the foundational systems that come together to create the human design system and then the gene key system, and then my messengers masterclass, which is about how Richard Rudd and Ra Uru, who brought forth the gene keys and human design systems respectively, how their charts were perfectly designed for that. Both of those masterclasses are going to be 80% off if you use code Burnout80. Then we have my like little boot camps and sort of shorter programs. So we have Notion Empire and the Notion Empire Biz-Only edition, as well as my boot camps Strategy Stravaganza, which is all about launch strategy, social media, just pure business strategy, and then Quantum Realism, which is more like business mindset. That plus my reading library, the Astrodex, all of those will be 50% off if you use code Burnout50. And then for my big programs, so for readings on repeat and for the Cosmic Compendium, you'll actually be able to get 30% off if you use code Burnout30. So just check out the link below and you'll be able to see all the information that I just said in a visual way with the codes for you to use right then and there. Those codes will all expire on October 12th, which is my design day. All the burnout stuff, all the burnout sale codes will be valid until then, so you can get 30 to 50 to 80% off some of my stuff. So if you've been having an eye on it, Black Friday came early. So thank you so much for being here. Ask me any questions. I love Q&As like this. I plan on getting better at them as we go along. This has been so fun to record. I can't wait to edit this and learn that as a new skill, and I can't wait to be back. I'm excited about it. It's gonna look totally different. I say that and it might look the same, whatever. For me, I know it's going to feel completely different, and I know that I'm gonna learn I'm gonna integrate so many lessons from this experience, and I'm like super excited for that, and not just for myself, but also excited to share them with you and to see like, what did I do? How did I heal the burnout once that happens? What things worked, what things didn't work? And you're welcome to ask me some of those questions already right now. I really respond well to questions. I love them. So thank you for being here. Thank you for asking questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.